bringing value home. Millions of dollars go missing at GECOM. Several account staff questioned by police. Zero tolerance for domestic violence reports. Prosecutor SHELLON Daniels. Day 27 of the ongoing election fraud trial. SHUMAN admits LJP destroyed all complaints and election records after 2020 polls. And in sport, TKR crowned 2025 CPL champions after denying the Amazon Warriors a second title. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Monday 22nd September 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We'll tell you this evening that some staff at the Guyana Elections Commission are calling for a free and fair investigation now that millions of dollars have gone missing from the commission. Travis Chase reports.
The theft of millions of dollars belonging to the Guyana Elections Commission has prompted ranks of the Criminal Investigations Department to open an investigation. As such, several staff, mainly from the Accounts Department of the Guyana Elections Commission, were taken to the headquarters of the Criminal Investigations Department for questioning. Although the Guyana Elections Commission and the Guyana Police Force have been silent on the multi-million-dollar theft, Nightly News has been reliably informed that last Monday, the Accounts Department of the Guyana Elections Commission received some $969 million to pay staff of the recently concluded elections, and by Thursday, millions of dollars were discovered missing. The police were then informed of the theft and several persons were detained. Meanwhile, a usually reliable source familiar with the investigation told Nightly News that the police may just be questioning several persons who have absolutely no knowledge of the theft. The source made the point that the salaries staff have been handling large amounts of cash for years without this type of larceny. According to the source, perhaps improper hiring practice since 2021 could be a contributing factor. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
With domestic violence cases on the rise across Guyana, Woman Superintendent of Police, Prosecutor SHELLON Daniels, has made it clear that the Guyana Police Force has a zero-tolerance policy and all reports will be taken seriously. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Speaking on the program Police and New Domestic Violence, Woman Superintendent of Police SHELLON Daniels reminded victims that the law provides several options, including protection orders and maintenance support, but stressed that enforcement remains critical. Daniels emphasized that under the Domestic Violence Act, victims can apply for protection orders and maintenance for themselves and their children.
Maintenance for if you're legally married, maintenance, you can apply for maintenance for yourself and the children. You can apply for a protection order under the Domestic Violence Order.
She underscored that no police officer, not even a station commander, has the authority to dismiss reports or encourage private settlements.
When you make a report to the police station, no police, and I'm going to repeat and I'm going to emphasize, no police, not even the commando at the station can tell you, oh, go and bring an agreement of settlement and we are going to settle it.
According to Daniels, all domestic violence reports must be pursued and referred to relevant agencies, including the Ministry of Human Services, Probation and Welfare Departments, while cases are prepared for the court. She further explained that spouses are competent and compellable witnesses under the Evidence Act and can be required to testify even if they are unwilling.
And when you get to the court, I implore upon you, under our Evidence Act, spouses, you are competent as well as compellable to give the evidence. There are laws that are there that if you refuse to give the evidence,
save their lives.
if at times if that is the way that we may need to go to save a life, which may be your life, then so be it.
She warned that withdrawing cases often leads to tragedy, with many women later being murdered by abusive partners.
There are several women who would have lost their life after coming to the court. And as we say, any of these matters, no evidence offered. They later down the line end up being murdered by these abused spouses.
Daniels recommended that the court impose heavier cost when complainants withdraw matters, saying, while it may not deter all, it could encourage victims to proceed and allow the law to take its course. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
A ground handling staff remains under lock and key as a major probe is underway after 67 kilos of cocaine was intercepted at the Chedijagan International Airport. Travis Chase is on that story.
A staff of the New Timeri Handling Service remains in the custody of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit after anti-drug agents intercepted 67 kilos of cocaine that was about to be placed on a KLM flight for the Netherlands. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit said its agents, acting on information received, conducted an operation at the CJIA where they intercepted 53 parcels of cocaine which were intended to be placed on a KLM flight destined for Amsterdam. Head of Colonel James Singh related to Nightly News Monday morning that the investigation is still ongoing and the suspect in custody is still being questioned by anti-drug agents. Although details of the bust is sketchy, Nightly News was told that someone deliberately cut a hole in a perimeter fence, then took the cocaine through that perimeter fence into the cargo area. They then placed the drugs in a false bottom of a cargo container. Minister of Home Affairs Onij Walrun wrote on Facebook that this is about more than arrest. It's about protecting our borders, safeguarding our people, and defending Guyana's good name on the international stage. Heartfelt thanks to our brave men and women in uniform whose tireless work keeps our nation safe and proud. The newly appointed Home Affairs Minister added that the drug bust was another major win against trans-border crime. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Join us after the break. We have more news for you.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality.
Did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute.
Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Commissioner Rolf Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC, Monrepo, East Coast, and Marara, or call 220-9624-629-4021 or 619-7880. At Krishna Rolf Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back. You're with the HGP Nightly News. A former presidential candidate for the Liberty and Justice Party, Lennox Schumann, on Monday admitted that his party destroyed all of its election records, including complaints of irregularities after the conclusion of the 2020 polls. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Former presidential candidate for the Liberty and Justice Party, LJP, Lennox Schumann, who entered the witness box before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty in the Georgetown Magistrates Court, was pressed by defense attorney Nigel Hughes about steps his party took to document and preserve evidence during the contentious 2020 elections. Schumann acknowledged that while the LJP had filed for a recount of Region 4, the largest electoral district, he could not produce a single written complaint, ballot box number, or record of irregularities because all materials had been disposed of. When asked directly whether he had any documented evidence to support claims of irregularities, Schumann conceded that he did not. The former presidential candidate admitted that the decision to destroy the records was made by his party once the recount had ended and a final declaration was made. He confirmed that the disposal of documents took place despite the fact that he had previously given a statement to the police on August 27, 2020, in connection with a criminal investigation into the elections. Earlier in the day, Schumann gave the court a detailed account of what he witnessed at Ashman's building, which served as a tabulation center during the March 2020 elections. He recalled what he described as a commotion involving political operatives and the then Chief Election Officer Keith Lowenfield. He testified that GECOM staffer Enrique Liven assumed control of the tabulation process and began projecting statements of polls on a screen for party agents to observe. According to Schumann, Liven initially displayed the results, but after a few minutes began making errors, which prompted protests from several political party representatives present at the center. Schumann further claimed that he later saw Liven exit the main tabulation area with a computer and enter another room. In that room, Schumann alleged Liven was seated with the same laptop, which now had a flash drive inserted. A printer was also in use. Schumann said he confronted Liven and saw a stack of papers being printed that appeared to contain, quote-unquote, pre-populated results for Region 4. He told the court that the incident sparked further questioning by himself and other political representatives as to what Liven was doing with the computer and printer. The proceedings were adjourned until Tuesday, when Schumann is expected to return to the witness box for continued cross-examination. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
A 28-year-old Cuban national lost his life on Monday after a concrete wall collapsed on him at a construction site in Bachelor's Adventure on the east coast of Demerara. Nightly News was on the scene.
Tragedy struck a construction site on Monday when a concrete wall collapsed and claimed the life of 28-year-old Dairobis Martinez, a resident of Fowles located on the east coast of Demerara. He's a Cuban national. Martinez was reportedly pinned under the rubble while working where a new supermarket is being built. Nightly News spoke with some bystanders who related the ordeal.
There mostly 5 to 6 Spanish guys be working there, along with the Chinese. So we only see one body. So I feel they should raise this wall. They might would know if the guys was here.
According to the bystander, when the wall collapsed, those who supervised the project, which were Chinese nationals, allegedly fled the scene.
Other residents say, because our daughter was wrong here at the same time, that when the wall fell, they get the Chinese go on bike and right away. Because I just came home. But this is what I heard.
Walston Martins, chairman of the Buxton Falls Neighborhood Democratic Council, who visited the scene, said that while this situation is unfortunate, the reality is that there are many subpar works being executed by Chinese nationals. He noted that because of the intervention and supposed bureaucracy by central government, the NDC oftentimes is unaware of who the contractors are, who are executing these works.
Construction is being done on actually all the Chinese putting up facilities around the country. The plan was passed from the individual that owned this place, and they rent it to the Chinese. Apart from that, we know nothing else that is going on in terms of the internal building.
Based on documents shared with Nightly News, the land rented to the Chinese nationals is owned by Carlos Paul, a resident of Middle Walk, Buxton, East Coast Amarara, who currently resides in the United States of America. Martins, visibly upset at the occurrence, delivered this message to those in authority.
If the government don't get serious concerning what the Chinese are doing and how they are building, how they are constructing the building in this country, we might have more. I am sorry to hear that somebody died here.
Also present at the location was a cousin of Dice Robis, Martinez, who related in Spanish that he was working with the company for 4 months. The woman, with the aid of a translator, noted that Martinez at the time was in the proximity of the wall, which is being supported by a scaffold. Meanwhile, Minister of Labor and Manpower and Planning, Keoma Griffith, during a visit to the site to assess the situation, told the press that the situation is unfortunate and investigations are ongoing.
The safety and health of every worker is of extreme importance to my ministry and this government. So for now, we're awaiting more information while the police officers conduct the investigation.
Griffith noted that safety protocols must be adhered to in order to avoid fatalities. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, in another tragedy, police has launched an investigation into the alleged murder of a young tour guide during the annual Village Day celebrations, which was part of Amerindian Heritage Month. The incident took place at Annai in Region 9. Jada June reports.
Police in Region 9 are probing the alleged murder of 21-year-old John Elliott, a tour guide attached to Atta Lodge and residents of Sarama Village, North Rupununi. According to reports, the incident occurred around 1:30 a.m. on Sunday, September 21, 2025, during Amerindian Heritage Celebration at Annai Village. Elliott was allegedly stabbed during a confrontation with 3 male suspects. The male suspect has been identified as 16-year-old school dropout of Annai Village. Also implicated are 20-year-old Ronaldo Williams and his younger brother, 18-year-old Orlando Williams, both of Annai. Police said that the stabbing was witnessed by a female rank stationed at Annai Police Station, who was present at the event. She positively identified the 16-year-old as an individual who stabbed Elliott in the chest. The teenager was later arrested at home of the Williams brothers and taken into custody. However, when questioned in the presence of his mother, the suspect denied responsibility, instead accusing 80-year-old Orlando Williams of carrying out the fatal stabbing. A medical examination conducted at the Annai District Hospital revealed that Elliott sustained 2 stab wounds, one on the left side of the chest and another on the right rib area. His body is expected to undergo a post-mortem examination on Monday, September 22, 2025. Meanwhile, police are continuing efforts to apprehend Orlando and Ronaldo Williams, who remain at large. Investigations are ongoing. Jada Ju reported for HGP Nightly News.
Youth is not defined by their birthdays, but it is about those who stand up and fight for the rights and changes. These were the staunch remarks made by Reyes Rupnarain, who will be representing the Partnership for National Unity when the 13th Parliament convenes. Antonia Day has more.
Amid the published list of 12 parliamentary representatives for the Partnership for National Unity, there have been harsh criticisms from party supporters and political pundits regarding the lack of youthful faces despite individuals such as Reyes Rupnarain, Ganesh Maipal, and Saiku Andrews appearing on that list. Many are contending that the younger individuals such as Eden Kerbin, Rivaldo Burbao, Ronald Daniels, and other persons who were at the forefront during the party's campaign should have been among the 12 parliamentary representatives. Against this background, Rupnarain, during an exclusive interview with Nightly News, noted that there has been a lot of misconceptions regarding the definition of youthful representation.
Youth is not defined by their birthdays. It is about those who stand up and fight for rights and changes. And that is what I believe. So when we say that we have submitted young people, it is not the literal understanding of the age definition.
Rupnarain and educators said that youths in leadership must think about how they can play an integral role in the development of their community and not themselves. He said this should not be restricted to age, but rather effectiveness and maturity.
But it is those persons who have seen, including myself, who see a new vision for Guyana, and we are standing up and challenging the government in regards to how they spend the monies, how they implement programs, how policies are created.
The 35-year-old, although some may not consider him as a youth, is adamant that with his maturity and experience, he can bridge the gap between the generation who would have laid the foundation at the parliamentary level. He said himself and colleagues under the stewardship of parliamentary lead Dr. Terence Campbell and guidance of Aubrey Norton will result in a dynamic force to reckon with. Rupnarain offered his word of advice to youths who are interested in entering politics and would like to aid in the rebuilding and reconciliation of the People's National Congress reform.
Politics is about more altruistic and less selfishness. So when you enter into politics, it's not about entering to see what I will get out of it. Politics is a customer service job. So if you don't intend to serve the Guyanese people, then you are in the wrong market.
Antonio, reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Join us after the break. We have more news for you.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Life is full of beautiful moments, but did you know that everyday activities can expose you and your loved ones to harmful worms? From playing in the dirt to cuddling with pets, even eating unwashed fruits and vegetables. These common activities can cause worm infestation. Intestinal worm infections can cause nausea, fatigue, bloating, or even stomach pains. Dr. Setival has the remedy for you. Use worm medicine to prevent infections and to rid your family of these pests. Check your nearest pharmacy for Leland with pack sizes suitable for families large and small. Just a single dose after a meal treats common worms. Protect your family with Leland so you can focus on what truly matters, making memories. Distributed by Massey Distribution, Guyana Limited.
Multiple FPSOs, drill ships, and support vessels. And this is just the beginning. Life offshore has become a reality for many Guyanese in the oil and gas industry. But in the past, we had to travel abroad to complete the necessary offshore survival training. Now, the training is available right here in Georgetown. I'm getting the skills I need and building the career I've always wanted. I'm Max, and this is what's possible.
Learn more about Max's story and how ExxonMobil's investments are benefiting thousands of Guyanese like him at www.exxonmobil.com/what is possible.
home. Did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Welcome back. You're with the HGP Nightly News as we continue in an update on the oil and gas sector. Antonio Day tells us that ExxonMobil has made a final investment decision for the Hammerhead development offshore Guyana after receiving the required regulatory approvals. Here's that story.
Hammerhead, a 7 project on the Sabro block, which is anticipated to come online in 2029, received regulatory approvals from the government. This was confirmed on Monday in a statement by ExxonMobil Guyana. Development will utilize a floating production storage and offloading vessel with a capacity to produce approximately 150,000 barrels of oil per day. The $6.8 billion Hammerhead project will include 8 production and injection wells. We continue to set a new standard in Guyana, advancing an impressive 7 project just 10 years after first discovery, said President of ExxonMobil Upstream Company, Dan Annai. In collaboration with the people and government of Guyana, we have helped build a thriving new oil and gas industry in the country that is creating jobs, supply opportunities, profits, and follow-on investments, he noted, according to the press statement. This latest decision increases funds committed for 7 approved projects to more than $60 billion. More than $7.8 billion has been paid in Guyana's Natural Resources Fund since production in the Sabro block started in 2019. There are currently some 6,200 Guyanese working in support of Sabro block operations, which is about 70% of the workforce. ExxonMobil Guyana and its contractors have spent more than $2.9 billion with Guyanese suppliers since 2015. ExxonMobil affiliate ExxonMobil Guyana Limited is an operator and holds 45% interest in the Sabro block. Hess Guyana Exploration Limited holds 30% interest, and CNOOC Petroleum Guyana Limited holds 25%. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Ministry of Education and the Guyana Defense Forces rolled out a physical education initiative. Marvin Cato reports.
Wellness and active lifestyle is something that is encouraged in every society. Guyana is no different. The Ministry of Education, MOE, and the Guyana Defense Force, GDF, have collaborated in ensuring children in schools are kept active and would be in a position to develop healthy minds.
I'm pretty excited, and I am very happy to see that it's being implemented in the schools with such energy, with such excitement, with such vigor, because the President's idea that he had, or the idea behind
This initiative, conceptualized by President Ali, has been rolled out countrywide with the GDF in collaboration with the MOE. The initiative will prepare children to thrive in physical and social activities, not just academically. The government has already invested in the infrastructure and has trained physical education teachers to ensure every child has access to meaningful physical development opportunities.
That we want to have well-rounded human beings. We don't just, it's not just a focus, because education is far more than just academics. You want to be able to have talent flourish.
The collaboration will ensure a smooth transition from policy to implementation. In July, President Irfan Ali emphasized that physical activity is more than play, but building the minds and bodies of our future leaders while fostering healthier lifestyles that embrace teamwork and discipline. In the next 5 years, great emphasis will be placed on recreational facilities to support academic education. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
A new initiative promoting ecotourism, inclusivity, and healthier lifestyles was officially launched with the opening of the bicycle rental and riding school. The event brought together government officials, diplomats, and tourism stakeholders who emphasized the social, environmental, and economic benefits of cycling. Jada June is on that story.
The launch of the bicycle rental and riding school was marked with strong endorsements from both local and international representatives, highlighting cycling as more than just a recreational activity. Serving as master of ceremonies, Mr. Ramkumar emphasized that bicycle is much more than it is. Adding a personal perspective, Ms. Sherian Green, CEO of Ride Along Guyana, recalled the challenges faced during the COVID-19 pandemic, describing the new initiative as a safe haven. She further announced the inclusion of a four-wheel bicycle for those who cannot ride and for persons with disabilities, underscoring the project's commitment to inclusivity.
It was birthed during COVID. We've been registered for the past 4 years. We're in operation 4 years. And we just wanted to create a clean space and a green space for people to ride.
European Union Ambassador René van Ness described bicycle riding as completely in our system, in our blood, adding that riding a bicycle is a fantastic way of moving.
And I'm very happy that we can be still here to do this.
Also speaking at the event, Mitra Ramkumar, president of the Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana, praised the initiative for promoting wellness, noting riding is healthy. People like to do stuff that enhances an active lifestyle. Omedeli DeGeorge, representative of the Protected Areas Commission, stressed the positive impact of cycling on community recreation.
So we commend the team of Ride Along. We are behind this team because we want to add to the number of activities that families in particular can enjoy when they come.
Meanwhile, Minister of Tourism Susan Rodriguez hailed the project as another innovative step for Ride Along Guyana. Pledging our ministry's backing, the ministry will support these businesses.
If we are to build a truly robust and sustainable tourism sector, we cannot afford to work in silos. Each stakeholder must recognize that they are an essential part of a much larger structure.
With government, private sector, and international partners aligned, the bicycle rental and riding school is expected to play a key role in boosting ecotourism, fostering inclusivity, and encouraging more sustainable lifestyles in Guyana. Meanwhile, the minister stated that shortly she will join the residents in Kamuni Creek for the launch of the Wire Green Escapes, another experimental product that reflects the vibrancy of the tourism sector and the creativity of our Guyana. Jada Drew reported for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Live the Island Dream. It's your chance to be one of over 100 winners in the Island Dream promotion. Win your share of more than $1 million in cash and prizes, plus 2 all-inclusive weekend staycations for 2. And that's not all. Score coolers packed with Buster, Turbo, Altitude, and Viva. Just buy any can or bottle of Turbo, Buster, Altitude, or Viva. Find the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean on IG or Facebook for details.
Live the Island Dream, get money. Live the Island Dream.
Whatever your dream is, Republic Bank can help you make it happen. You can make it happen. Let's help you get there with a Make It Happen loan.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
After a devastating fire destroyed physics equipment at the University of Guyana in 2014, we had to stick to theory-based lecturing. That's when ExxonMobil Guyana stepped in to help. Today, students can turn STEM theory into practice in ways they couldn't before. Reaching for the stars is now more possible than ever. I am Samuel, and this is what's possible.
Learn more about Mr. Lee's story and how ExxonMobil's investments in education are benefiting students across Guyana at www.exxonmobil.com/what-is-possible.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. Venezuelan Minister of Defense Vladimir Padrino Lopez announced earlier on Sunday that the Venezuelan military will be moving closer to Trinidad and Tobago to combat what he claimed are criminal acts occurring within the territory close to the Gulf of Paria, the stretch of water that separates the two. Speaking about the Venezuelan military movement during a televised address to citizens on Sunday, Padrino, who previously warned the country of a potential Venezuelan response, named Trinidad and Tobago as a country from which, quote-unquote, a lot of smuggling and human trafficking occurs. He said that under the instructions of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, the military would be moving to the state, which includes the Paria Peninsula. The closest point between the state of Trinidad's northern coast is approximately 8 miles. Tens of thousands of Brazilians took to the streets of major cities on Sunday to protest legislative efforts to shield former President Jair Bolsonaro and federal lawmakers from the courts, marking the country's strongest leftist demonstrations in years. The protest, organized by social movements, unions, and political parties, denounced the lawmakers trying to avoid legal consequences for themselves and Bolsonaro, who was sentenced to prison for a coup plot after his supporters stormed government buildings following his 2022 election defeat. It was the first major demonstration since Bolsonaro's conviction this month, with numbers rivaling recent right-wing protests against his sentencing in major cities, driving home the stark division in one of the world's largest democracies. The Supreme Court's conviction of Bolsonaro and his coup conspirators in the government and armed forces marked the first time Brazil has punished military officers for attempting to overthrow democracy in a history stained by violent coups. Bolsonaro is under house arrest until he exhausts appeal of his 27-year prison sentence, but allies are already working to support him via political channels, ranging from legislative amnesty to a pardon from the next president. It was the strongest turnout for protests organized by Brazil's left since at least October 2022, when thrones filled the same avenue to celebrate the election of President Lula. For government officials, being called heartless is an occupational hazard, but Albania has chosen to turn that insult into positive quality by appointing an AI minister. Not a minister for artificial intelligence, rather a cabinet member who is literally the work of AI. The new addition is like a pop star known simply by a single name, Diala. Prime Minister Edi Rama introduced her as a member of his new cabinet 4 months after securing his 4th term in office in May elections. However, the move was symbolic rather than official, as Albania's constitution insists that government ministers must be mentally competent citizens aged at least 18. Still, the advantages of appointing a boot over a human are obvious. Diala, whose name means son in Albanian, is unlikely to be the source of any unflattering leaks about the government. She will only be power-hungry in the sense of electricity she consumes, and a damaging expenses scandal would appear to be out of the question. In fact, corruption was uppermost in Rama's mind when he made Diala part of his team as Minister for Public Procurement. Our role will be to ensure that Albania will become a country where public tenders are 100% free of corruption. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Now let's join Darwin Neblet for HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana, and welcome to the HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Monday, September 22nd, 2025. We begin tonight with hockey. Action resumed in the National Junior Hockey Tournament at the National Gymnasium on Saturday. The first match was a 2-2 draw in the boys under 17 category as GCC's Case and Gomes and Grand Finance, as well as SHC Sigma's Oswald Fraser and Aaron Abram, each scored 1 goal for their respective sides. Match number 2 was a 2-0 victory for the SHC Sensations in the girls under 17 category as both Ariane Khan and Kyra Scott each scored 1 goal, while match number 3, also in the girls under 17 category, was a walkover victory for Old Fort against No Show's Hikers Junior Jets. Match number 4 in the boys under 21 category was a 4-1 victory for Old Fort against the GCC Spartans as Simeon Moore, Dion Hope, and Kosi Saul and Yonick Norton each scored 1 goal in a winning effort. Match number 5 in the boys under 17 category produced 6 goals as SHC Sigma defeated the Hikers Hatchets 5-1 on the back of a masterful performance from Oswald Fraser, who scored all 5 goals for the winning side. Michael Payne scored once in a losing effort. Match number 6 in the boys under 17 category was a 4-0 victory for the GCC Outlaws against Old Fort on the back of a magnificent hat-trick from Shane Sargent as Grand Finance scored once in a winning effort. In match number 7, Kitana Percival led the way with 5 scintillating strikes as the Old Fort girls defeated the GCC Spartans in the under 17 category. Match number 8 was played in the boys under 21 category with Old Fort defeating SHC's S-Team 3-1. Simeon Moore, Shaquan Favorite, and Yonick Norton each scored once in a winning effort as Saints' only goal, which was actually the first in the match, was scored by Christian Greaves. In match number 9, Rebecca Ferreira struck the only goal in the match as the GCC Spartans defeated Saints 1-0 in the girls under 21 category. And match number 10, the final match of Saturday, was a 2-2 draw in the boys under 21 category as GCC Outlaws Lucas Sargent scored a double and SHC's S-Teams Baraka Garnett and Jabari Level each scored once. More games were played on Sunday, the first result being a walkover victory for SHC Sensations against the Hikers Junior Hatchets. The second match produced a 5-0 victory for Old Fort against the GCC Spartans in the girls under 17 category as star performer Kitana Percival scored 4 goals and Tanash Henry won in a winning effort. In match number 3, Christian Viapri, Grand Finance, and Shane Sargent each scored once as the GCC Outlaws defeated Old Fort 3-0 in the boys under 17 category. Match number 4 was a high-scoring encounter in the boys under 17 category as SHC Sigma defeated the Hikers 5-2 on the back of doubles from Aaron Abraham and Ezekiel Moses. Since it's Oswald Fraser as well as Hikers Zion Scott and Michael Payne each scored 1 goal. Match number 5 was keenly contested in the boys under 21 category and produced 8 goals as SHC's S-Team defeated GCC Outlaws 5-3. Saints' Keelan Cummings and GCC's Vladimir Woodruff each scored brilliant hat-tricks as both Jabari Lebel and Baraka Garnett scored once in a winning effort. In match number 6, Old Fort defeated Hikers Hatchets in the boys under 17 third-place playoff match as Tyrese Benz scored the only goal in the match. Match number 7 was a 1-1 draw in the girls under 17 final, which had to be decided on penalties after SHC sensations Kyra Scott and Old Fort's Kitana Percival each scored for their respective sides. Old Fort would then claim victory and the title, winning the penalty shootout 3-2. Meanwhile, the final of the boys under 17 category was also decided on penalties after a 2-2 draw between GCC Outlaws and the SHC Sigma as Grand Finance, Aldo Melendez, Fayad Mohammed, and Ezekiel Moses each scored once for their respective sides. SHC Sigma would then hold their nerve to win the title, beating the Outlaws 4-2 in the penalty shootout. The girls under 21 title went to Saints as Chalita Webb scored the only goal in the match to defeat the GCC Spartans. Meanwhile, Old Fort took the under-21 boys title as Yonick Norton scored a clutch hat-trick and Shaquan Favorite a double to deliver a crushing 6-2 victory against the SHC's S-Team. Moving into some domestic football. Action resumed in the Elite League 2025 at the National Training Center in Providence on Saturday. The first match was a commanding 6-0 victory for the Guyana Police Force FC against Ansgrove United. Naron Barrow scored a double as Nicholas MacArthur, Carl Griffith, Brian Hackett and Jamar Harrigan each scored 1 goal in a winning effort. In the second fixture, Manila secured a 2-1 victory over the Fruta Conquerors as Arlen Brown scored twice and Simeon Level scored once in a losing effort. Action continues in the Elite League tonight with 2 fixtures, also at the National Training Center in Providence. The Guyana Defence Force FC will go up against the Mainstay Gold Stars in the first match, as the Western Tigers are slated to take on Santos in the second fixture. And finally, we conclude with cricket. CPL 2025 has come to a spectacular close. The final 2 matches in this season's Caribbean Premier League were played at the Guyana National Stadium in Providence on Friday and Sunday. In the first match, defending champions St. Lucia Kings removed themselves from contention after losing to 4-time title holders Trinbago Knight Riders by 56 runs. Batting first after being sent in, TKR masked a total of 194 for 4 off of their allotment of 20 overs. Alex Hales top scored with 58 unbeaten from 44. Kyron Pollard scored 35 from 26, and player of the match Nicholas Poole ran an impactful knock of 50 from 32, as Roston Chase, Kari Pierre and Alzari Joseph each picked up 1 wicket for the Kings. When the Kings responded, despite a valiant 57 from 40 from Tim Seifert, they were restricted to just 138 for 8 from their allotment of 20 overs as a result of some brilliant bowling from Usman Tariq, who took 35 from his 4 overs to ensure the Knight Riders would advance to the finals against the Warriors on Sunday. The finals lived up to all expectations as a sold-out crowd turned up to witness a low-scoring thriller between 2 of the biggest arch rivals in franchise sport. Warrior Nation fans are now holding their leadership accountable as TKR claimed their 5th title. Many questioned the decision by Captain Imran Tahir to win the toss and bat, since 25 of the 44 matches previously played at Providence had been won by chasing targets. Usual heavy lifters in the tournament, Quinton Sampson, Shea Hope and Shimron Hetmeyer all failed with the bat, as Surab Netravalkar picked up 3 for 25 and Akil Hussain 2 for 26 to limit the Warriors to just 130 for 8 off of their allotment of 20 overs. Iftikhar Ahmed top scored with 30 from 27, Ben McDermott 28 from 17 and Dwayne Pretorius 25 from 18 to keep the Warriors in the fight. When TKR responded, questions were also asked about the management of the Warriors bowlers. Many believe that Shamar Joseph, who picked up 2 for 9 from his 3 overs, should have been the first seamer introduced into the attack ahead of Romario Shepherd. Captain Tahir, he picked up 3 for 34, and Dwayne Pretorius 2 for 21, as Colin Monroe, Alex Hales, Sunil Narayan and Kyron Pollard all got into the 20s to see TKR to a 3-wicket victory and record a 5th CPL title. The player of the match was awarded to Akil Hussain, and Kyron Pollard was awarded the player of the tournament. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblet reminding you to stay in the game.
Millions of dollars go missing at GECOM. Several accounts staff questioned by police. Zero tolerance for domestic violence reports. Prosecutor SHELLON Daniels. Day 27 of the election fraud trial. SHUMAN admits LJP destroyed all complaints and election records after the 2020 polls. And in sport, TKR crowned 2025 CPL champions after denying the Amazon Warriors a 2nd title. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.